Hi, my name is Biotechnology with metric number 1190983, and I will be the second presenter for this presentation.
Hi, my name is Faiza Adawiyah binti Usman, 1192415.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatina Biha binti Zainuddin. My matrix number 1192406. I hope you guys can lending me your ears and time to hear our presentations. That's all from me. Thank you. Hi, today I would like to present about microinsurance and microtakaful. What is insurance and what is takaful? The insurance is a financial security program in which insured transfer the risk to the insurer by contributing some amount of money following the concept of sell and purchase. And what is takaful? Takaful is an Islamic financial security program in which the contributor share the risk with the risk taker by donating some amount of money in the fund. Insurance, it is based on cooperation factors only. Second, it's subject to government law and gazettes only. Third, capital to be invested to get profit. That means fund invested can be invest in all forms of investment, and it is not necessarily Sharia compliant. It maybe has elements of interest, gambling, and uncertainty. The risk is fully borne by the insurance company after payment is made by the insurer. Takaful. Firstly, it is based on mutual cooperation. Secondly, it's subject to government and Sharia law. Third, capital to be invested in Sharia compliant investment funds. That means takaful holders' money can only be invested in Sharia compliant. And fourth, takaful are free from interest, gambling, and uncertainty, not like insurance. Insurance and takaful versus actuaries. Insurance and takaful are related to actuaries because the main duty of actuaries are to develop a product, pricing, valuation, retirement and pensions, risk management, service scheme and allowance, and compensation, social security protections and scheme, and many more. That's why requests of actuaries are really wide and needed in this world because the world need them to give advice and suggestion about finance. That's all from me.
Now, let's look at how insurance and takaful work in order to solve social economic problems, specifically poverty, as to improve the quality of these poor people's life towards sustainable development. So, the role of insurance and takaful itself must need to identify social needs of society, whether how they can help, protect, and also reduce the burden of these people. We can see that there are differences between microinsurance and microtakaful, which for microinsurance and for microtakaful, both they have similarity, which it is to protect poor people from any risk, and it is also specifically developed to help poor people. But the difference is microtakaful is still following the Sharia requirements, meaning that microtakaful is slightly different in terms of Sharia, that it is considered to be halal or permissible for Muslims to follow. We move on to how microproducts were introduced. There are 4 phases to introduce microproducts. The first one, phase 1, identification of problems. It is important to determine what issues or problems have occurred, which the issues of poverty have been emphasized in our topic. For phase 2, propose solutions to the problems such as to manage the risk of falling into poverty or to protect against any financial risks. Then, microinsurance and microtakaful are being introduced in phase 3. The last one, a pilot test. The pilot test is important to evaluate the feasibility, time, cost, risk, and performance of the solutions to measure the success of issues that are being faced by society. Next, the issues of poverty. Based on the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, poverty entails more than the lack of income and productive resources to ensure sustainable livelihoods. Its manifestations include hunger and malnutrition, social discrimination and exclusion, lack of participation in decision making, as well as limited access to education and other basic services. These are the root causes of poverty that need to be highlighted in order to provide basic needs for them and ensure the poor to have access to productive resources, including credit, education, and training. Strategies for current poverty reduction are indeed in need, and this leads directly to my next point, SDG. As we can see here, SDG, which is Sustainable Development Goals, also known as Global Goals, were adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty as the first goal out of 17 goals by the year of 2030. These 17 goals include zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality in education, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work, and economic growth are some of the sustainable development plan to improve human lives and protect the environment.
Now on to the next section, which is correlation. I hope you've already understand about each and every one of the elements in this topic explained by both the presenters so that we may work together on the correlation. So first of all, we have to recall back what does actuaries do. I know a lot of you didn't know much about actuaries considering it's kinda new industry in Malaysia. So let me just rephrase it for you. Actuaries, in a simpler term, creates solution. So in order for them to do that, they have to identify the problem. In this case, the problem is the inability to manage risk of vulnerability faced by the poor, maybe caused by breadwinner's death, or maybe loss of income, or even anything that can perpetuate poverty. So what does actuaries do? They come up with insurance, but does that really help to solve the problem? No. Why? Because insurance costs a lot, and the poor's plate is already full of what? Maybe they have to buy pampers every month, foods, or even child's education. So adding insurance into their plate is gonna burden them big time. So what does actuaries do next? Yes, they come up with microinsurance and microtakaful. The word micro itself already explained the whole purpose of the new creation, which is to enable the poor to afford the insurance. Perhaps maybe they have to pay 5 ringgit per month only for the life insurance. So the result of this whole process is to reduce the vulnerability, and it may enhance the confidence and encourage the poor to what? To find a way out of poverty. So the result is they're financially self-sufficient. So this whole process has already achieved a lot of SDG goals, which may be SDG number 1, no poverty, or SDG number 2, no hunger, or even SDG number 3, good health and well-being. Now, let us all recall again the first step of product development, which is to identify the problem. In this case, we're going to focus on Sabah. So first of all, we have to know that Sabah is actually the poorest state out of the 14 according to Geraldine 2020. He also indicated that Sabah has the highest poverty rate with almost 0.25%, involving almost 100,000 households out of 3.9 million people, according to Department of Statistics Malaysia. Moreover, UNICEF also reported that Sabah actually was not ranked last in 2019 for GDP per capita. However, a lot of them lives in a rural area, and areas contiguous to aggested areas have at least more than half of them are engaged in agricultural activities. Thus, their accessibility to basic amenities is still worrying. Therefore, we can conclude that most of them are of the B40 group. Since most of them lives on the agricultural activities, it is vital for the actuaries to identify the risks and perils on the farm. And one of the major problems is that elephants are there to crush the plants and trees and farms. So in this case, they will suffer a big loss, and God knows how will they cover the loss back. Hence, actuaries proposed a new product for this matter, having the one in Kenya and Sri Lanka as a guidance for the pilot test. Now, you've already know about the background of the proposed product, which is a low-income family's farm were attacked occasionally by the elephants in Sabah. But how does this product works? So first step is that the insured has to contribute a small amount of capital in order to transfer the risk to the insurer. Second step, when the losses happen, the insured can claim for the unprecedented risk from the insurer. So the insured's financial will not be affected as much when the losses happens. However, each and every one of the new products will cause a lot of challenges. In this case, I'm going to divide it into two parts, which one is from the poor's perspective and another one is from the insurer's perspective. As from the poor's perspective is that they have inadequate knowledge and they are also an inexperienced users, and also they have inadequate access. While as for the insurers, they will bear high delivery costs and also the product is non-profitable. That's all from me. Thank you.